But so that means over 20 years, 100,000 you made after the internal rate of return, you only gained $57,931.52. What if you had your money in a properly structured index universal life policy, or IUL? Because here's the thing: a lot of people are going to say, "I'm not going to put my money in a IUL, and I'm limited to earning up to 11% when the market I can be getting a lot higher." I just showed you what happens in the market, because here's a real term that a lot of people don't know. If you buy less than 100 shares at a time, you are considered an unsophisticated investor. An unsophisticated, that's not my word, that's their word. You are an unsophisticated investor, and what that means is by the time news reaches to you, millions have already been made, and you're making decisions based off the data that you're able to get as a typical consumer, right? What if you were able to earn at the most 11% every year? Like, so in the years that it was less than 11%, you earned what that number was, but in the years that it was more than 11%, you were capped at 11, but you had none of the losses. So basically what it's saying is, whenever the market did well, you gained. When it did bad, you didn't gain anything, but you didn't lose anything either. If you look historically, there are always, most of the time, because there are some exceptions that happen periodically, but typically, when you look at every 10 years in the market, there are typically 7 good years and 3 bad years. What that means is there are typically 7 years where the market is up, and then 3 years where the market is down. If you only took the gains and you avoided all of the losses, meaning that you weren't trying to get back double your money just to break even, that same 100,000, the internal rate of return after fees, after taxes, would come to $285,640.40. $285,640.40 compared to $157,931.52. Which one is better? I don't know. I know inherently it might seem like the other one is better, but I just showed you how it works. So I'm going to need y'all to remember this formula, all right? It says take the end date value minus the beginning date value, and that'll give you a difference in value. And your difference in value divided by the beginning date value gives you the percentage change. I'm going to need y'all to screenshot this, take a picture of this, because you're going to also use this same formula to determine how much if you already have an existing policy, if your policy was structured correctly, to see exactly how much money that it's been averaging. But first, let me show you how the IULs work compared to people who are putting their money directly in the indexes. So if you had your money put directly in the S&P 500, you started at $2,779.83. And by February 2020, after February 2029, the beginning, you had $3,370.29. The difference, once you subtract the beginning from the end, gives you a difference of a positive $590.46. When you divide that $590.46 by that beginning value of $2,279.83, that gives you a percentage change of 25.9%, right? So if your money was directly in the market, this is what you earned. However, if your money was directly in the IUL, you only earned 11% that year. You can't win them all, right? Remember what we showed you. So what about if your money was still in the market starting in March 2019 to March 2020? You had that beginning S&P value of $2,808.48 and an ending value of $2,386.83. And that's a difference of a negative $421.65. When you divide that by the beginning value, That gives you a negative 15%. If your money was directly in the market, you made a negative 15%. And what did I tell you? Whatever you lose, you have to do at least double to break even. So if you lost 15%, that means next year you got to do at least 30% to just break even before you can start talking about back to making profit. However, if your money was in an IUL, you lost zero. What happens is you get that lock in and reset. You gain that positive percentage, but when the market goes down, you don't lose any of your principal like it does when it's put directly into the indexes, right? It's protected because it's not put directly in there. It's just using the indexes as a measuring stick.